to the very beginning and how Birmingham City Football Club became such a special part of the Wiseman family, please. It all started with your granddad, was it?
Well, he did. It started off when he was a young boy, and this is when we played at Munt Street. And he used to wait outside for the players to come, and he used to carry the bags so he could get in for free. And anyhow, he developed, obviously became a fan, and he set up quite a big plumbing business. And at the time, Birmingham was controlled by all the builders. There was the Dares, the Morrises. And so it culminated in 1928. He got invited to become a director. So he became a director, and then he did other things. He got involved with the England setup in the FA. He used to do the FA Cup draw many years ago. Yeah, he was quite a familiar voice. But then my father came on the board in '56 as a director, and then in '93 I got on the board as well. I was invited by Karen Brady, so it was quite a coup, and then. I stood down in just after we won the Carling Cup in 2011. Carson Young wanted his son Ryan to come on the board, so I agreed to that. So they gave me the position of the honorary vice president. So I think it should be honorary president of vice, but anyhow, that's just a brief synopsis. But it's been a very long-standing association, really. And,
fantastic. Very.
I think my only regret was that they, if I got one regret, is that. They saw, well, obviously 31 and 56. They saw that, but they weren't alive in 2011 to see us beat Arsenal. Actually to win a well, they saw us when we can I say this word when we beat the other load in was it 61? I think it was on a two-leg basis, but it wasn't quite the same then the competition, but it's elevated to much greater status. So
yeah. You remember your first game, Mike?
I do. It was my dad was actually quite keen on me because where I went to school, we played sport on a Saturday, and he actually wanted me to play sport. He was very keen on that, which I think is good parenting, really. But I think I was about 9 or 10, and we played Leicester City at home in a cup match, and we lost 2-1. I remember Derek Dugan scoring for Leicester. He was playing for them. I think it was around about 64, 65 time. And then you. Just like you said, it obviously was very different then, but you go down and you get the bug, don't you, really? And of course, the other look I had was, I witnessed Trevor coming on board because we're roughly the same age. And, that was, as a teenager, it was very exciting to see, such a wonderful talent come through, really. And so that was it, really. It's, I had a spell abroad for a while, but... still kept tabs and still flew back for games and did daft things. And I was at University of Sheffield and worked out the trains, how to get back and everything. But it's in your blood, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you must have been privy to a lot of, obviously, seeing a lot of good stuff behind the scenes all over the years. And
and bad stuff.
Yeah. Anything you can share with us, maybe on the funny side, being the Christmas special? Any funny stories you can tell us that you've witnessed?
Well, the one I did love was about my grandfather forgive me if you've heard this one before, about the Leyton Orient game when we got promoted. What happened was we played and we were neck and neck with Millwall to go up. And it was the all-important game was at Brisbane Road against Orient. And we needed, I think we needed to win to go up, and it meant we'd go up rather than Millwall. And of course, not being far away from Millwall, there was quite a big Millwall presence there that night, and we managed to. Well, we scored. It was quite late on. It was a corner by Gordon Taylor. Bob Latchford headed home. The Millwall fans then tried to get the game postponed by invading the pitch, but the referee was just brilliant. He said, "I'll finish this game even if it goes on till midnight," and then we won the game. And then, of course, to rub further something to win. There was a bomb scare, which obviously was a hoax, but they couldn't ignore it. So the whole main stand had to be evacuated, and the players had to go out in the towels and everything. Absolute chaos. And we couldn't find my grandfather. And he'd gone into the dressing room with a case of champagne to celebrate. And he loved his fizz, and he'd opened the first bottle, was knocking it back. And he was in his 80s. And a policeman said, "I'm ever so sorry, sir, but we've got to evacuate the stand. There's a bomb scare." And he said, "Well, young man," he said, "look," he said, "I understand what you're doing, but," he said, "I'm in my 80s. He said, "I've just seen my team get promoted to Division 1 after a long time. Got a glass of champagne in my hand. Can you think of a better way to die?" Poor